So you're rushing to head out the door to go to school, to go to work, to go on a trip. And suddenly you realize, oh gosh, you haven't got all your charging plugs and cables and all that kind of fun stuff. So you're scrambling around and you're thinking about all those devices that you need to bring, maybe a laptop, a tablet, your smartphone, a watch, some earbuds, whatever it is. And suddenly you have like a bunch more things that you have to pack into your bag. Wouldn't it be nice if you could eliminate 4 things or 3 of these plugs or whatever and just carry one device that handles everything? I'm going to be going into a product review that kind of does that for you, and it's from a company that I like a lot, so stay tuned. Hi there, it's HighTechDad, and welcome to my channel where I talk about all types of different tech that works well at home, at work, on the go, that sort of thing. I write how-to articles on my website and product reviews there. And today we're taking a look at 3 charging solutions from a company that I have been working with for several years called UGREEN. And yes, it is a plug. Yes, it is a multi-port plug. And yes, I actually have 3 different versions of this plug to review. And it's not really a good, better, best type of thing or a Goldilocks type of thing or anything like that. One thing I do want to point out is that I've reviewed plugs from UGREEN before. This is their new Pro line. And so I was like, yeah, I want to see and test out the Pro line. And so what we have here, 2 3-port fast chargers and 1 4-port fast chargers. Try saying that fast. And the nice thing about it is, you remember all those plugs that I had at the beginning? You can eliminate all those. And one of the reasons why is because of the wattage that each of these Nexode Pro chargers can handle. So starting at the smallest one at 65 watts, that's great for like a MacBook Air or an iPad or other types of tablets or a smartphone, that sort of thing. Then the next one here is a 3-port 100-watt plug. And this can do larger laptops and that sort of thing. And then the one that I really like is the 160-watt one that can handle a MacBook Pro, an iPad, your smartphone, and things like that. So in this video, I'm going to go through the unboxing. We'll take a look at each of these products, and I'll point out some of the features that I really like. So stay tuned. Okay, so let's start out with the 65-watt version. So again, this is the UGREEN Nexode Pro. This is the new Pro line. This is the 65-watt charger. It's a 3-port GaN fast charger. So it's using GaN technology. And what a lot of people have written about and talked about GaN technology, it allows manufacturers to actually compact the size of chargers, and it helps with heat dissipation and a variety of other things. And that's some of the things that are called out here on the box. So they have this trademark thing called GaN Infinity. So it says less heat, higher efficiency. It's got a thermal guard to prevent it from overheating, because when you've got a lot of devices plugged in and taking out power, it's going to like heat up a bit. And then it gives a use case. So MacBook Air 13-inch, 60 minutes to get to 70% charge. So there's some other things on the back. It talks about the GaN Infinity, the thermal guard, the smart charge, and some other things. So let's take a look at what's inside here, and then we'll move on to the other products here. So there is a manual that sort of walks through. It's got the warranty, setup instructions. I do recommend reading through these because it does talk about how many ports and what ports you can use at once and that type of thing. I won't go into all the detail, but this is on their website as well. Important to know what you can and can't charge at the same time, and it goes into the different port charging distribution. So I'll go into that in a little bit. And this is the product itself, it comes wrapped in a, looks like a recyclable or biodegradable package. I'll take it out as long as I, well, let's see, it looks like I'm gonna have to rip it. But here we go. Probably the hardest thing of using this is taking it out of the bag. So very small, very compact. You can see the 3 ports, 2 USB-Cs and 1 USB-A. It's not too thick. You can sort of get a feel for it. But one feature that I absolutely love about these UGREEN chargers is this. It just folds down and the plug is there. So think about all those other bulky chargers that have plugs sticking out permanently. Not too fun. This folds away and you can put it in your pocket. You can put it, in your suitcase and that sort of thing. So let's move on to the 100-watt charger. All right, so this is the 100-watt Nexode Pro 3-port GAN fast charger. I'm getting better at saying that quickly. It also has the GAN Infinity, the thermal guard. It does also talk about charging a MacBook Air 13-inch to 70% in like 60 minutes. So same type of thing on the back. Pretty much expecting the same experience inside. You've got your manuals and stuff, and again, do read it so that you know the best way to take advantage of the multi-port design. And this too is wrapped in this biodegradable, hopefully, bag. And then you have the same type of setup. So UGREEN, this time it says Nexode Pro 100 watt, a little bit thicker. And again, it has clearly labeled 2 USB-Cs and 1 USB-A. So USB-A is going to be stuff that doesn't take as much power, maybe legacy things or something like an Apple Watch or something. Although everyone luckily is moving to USB-C, they do sort of outline here that you should put your phone or your laptop up in the top one. I'll go into that in a second. And guess what? It's got that same fold down plug, which makes it super useful. So that's the 100 watt, 3 ports, 2 USB-C, 1 USB-A. So let's move on to the 160 watt one. All right, so let's move on to the largest one of the group. And so this is the UGREEN Nexode Pro 4-port GAN fast charger. It is rated at 160 watts. And again, GAN Infinity thermal guard. It does call out here though, MacBook Pro 16-inch, you can get to 70% in 60 minutes. So that is fast charging. And it does have a single port charging output on this particular model of 140 watts max. So that is great power for like a laptop like this or others that take higher energy requirements. Same kind of stuff in the back. Let's see what's inside. So yes, when you have more power, you have more responsibility. No, actually you have a larger size plug. So yes, it is bigger. There is the instructions that you'll want to save to understand the charging ports and how to balance them out. UGREEN Nexode Pro 160 watt. You can see it's thicker. And here are the 4 ports that are on here, and they are broken out to laptop and smartphone in the top and sort of smartphone and legacy device on the bottom with the USB-A. 3 USB-Cs, 1 USB-A, and of course the fold-out plug. So it is definitely heavier. It is definitely thicker. But again, you're going to have more types of ways to charge a wider variety of devices faster using this solution. So let's go into each of the different ones and some options that you have on the output ports. I'll go through it, but I highly recommend looking at the website or reading the instructions that talk about how to do all this type of thing. So let's take a look at the 65 watt charger here and quickly go through things. Again, 2 USB-Cs, 1 USB-A. I encourage you to read the manual, or at least look at the product information on the website, and I'll put the links in the description below. So there's a 65 watt, and 22.5 watt for these if you do them independently. If you do 2-port charging, you can do 45 watt and 20 watt simultaneously. If you do USB-C and A, you can do 45 and 18 watt. And then if you do these last two, it's 5 volt, 3 amp. So then if you do 3-port charging, you're going to have 45 watt, at least guaranteed on one, and then it's just a 5 volt, 3 amp, so much smaller. So for the 100 watt, again, 3 ports, 2 USB-C, 1 USB-A. This top one is 100 watts, so that's good for, like a MacBook Air or even a MacBook Pro. So that's pretty good. And again, this is 1 port at a time. The second one here is 30 watts, so that's probably better for like a smartphone or a tablet. And then the USB-A is 22.5 watts right at the bottom. If you go to 2-port charging, you get 65 and 30 combined. You can, if you do the top one, you can do 65 watts and 22 watts simultaneously. And then if you do the bottom two, it's 5 volt, 3 amp when they're combined. And then lastly, for 3-port charging, if you have all 3 plugged in, you're going to get 65 watts on the top. So probably good for like a MacBook Air, a lower powered USB-C device. And then the 2 here combined are 5 volt, 3 amps. So lastly, we have the big one here. This is the 160 watt with 4 ports. So obviously it's going to be bigger. It's about the same thickness. So the top USB-C here is 140 watt max. The one directly below it is 100 watt max. So either of these would be fine for charging like a MacBook Pro. Obviously, you're going to get the best bang for the buck on the top one. Then this USB-C is 30 watt max, and then the USB-A is 22.5. If you go with 2-port charging, and there's a lot here, again, look at the website. They have an interactive graphic that shows the combinations, but it's if you have these two going, it's 100 watt and 60 watt. If you have this one and this one, it's 100 watt in the top and 30. If you have this one and this one going, it's 100 watt and 22.5 watts. If you go down a level here, it's 100 watt and 30 watt, 100 watt and 22.5. And then these ones combined is 15 watt max. So again, that's with 2 things plugged in at the same time. If you go over to 3-port charging, so that means you have 3 devices plugged in, you have 65 watt, 30 watt, you have 65 watt, 22.5 watt, 100 watt, and 15 watt max combined. And then here, 100 watt and 15 watt max combined. And then lastly, if you have all 4 ports running here, you're going to get 65 watts, 65 watts, and then 15 watts combined. So that is enough to power, a couple of smaller laptops. But, for my use case, it would be like the MacBook and maybe a tablet, and then maybe my watch or some AirPods. So, pretty robust here. So a lot of specs to review. The big thing here is actually the price point. So this little one is about $56. That price can change. Obviously, check Amazon or check the UGREEN site. This one goes for about $75. And then the large one is about $120. So again, what I love about this is the smaller form factor. It's definitely smaller than a stock like MacBook charger or something like that. I love the fact that the plugs fold out on all those, so making them fairly compact. I love that you get extreme wattage on the larger one, but then the smaller ones are great for just charging up tablets and smaller laptops and that sort of thing. I haven't found the heat to be too significant at all as I've been testing these. And yeah, so I'm going to also be writing a review about this with some more information and some links. Obviously, check the links below in the description. If you like this review, I would highly love it if you could give it a thumbs up. Click the subscribe, because I'm going to be doing more product reviews of all sorts of gadgets that are helpful at home or at work or on the go. If you have any questions, you can search for me on social media and just search for HighTechDad, and I'm out there. Also, you can head over to my Facebook page, and that's at facebook.com/HTD blog. And all of my content is available on my website at HighTechDad.com. Thanks for watching. Let me know if this is something that you think you would want, that you would use. Does this replace a bunch of plugs that you currently have? Otherwise, you're probably going to be schlepping around a bunch of other charging solutions. Look forward to producing another video soon with some other products. So stick around, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time.